And that leads me on to thinking of Mike Tyson, man, because he's been an advocate over the last couple of years, man, of the whole psychedelic experience. And as I've been saying, he's become one of the fluffiest guys you can see or hear on the internet at the moment, knowing full well the background, where he comes from, the background, his history, you know, and some of what we know, what he's been through, as well as not knowing what he's been through. You know, he's come out the other end of these DMT told experiences, and, you know, and as he said, he's killed the monster inside of himself. So it makes me look at, you know, the fact that we can kill the monster, you know, or tame the monster at least. Because again, I'm not trying to kill the monster, but tame the monster and know how to channel and direct the monster, you know. And Mike is living proof that that's possible. You know, we've come through certain challenges and can bear witness to how it supports us with our, you know, our frustrations, our anger. But at the same time, it's not something that we want to, you know, suppress or remove. So with that said, PTSD you mentioned, and, you know, the impact of, you know, soldiers that have gone to war and come back. And then we have to look at how some of these young people and the things that they've experienced and witnessed, you know, and how they may be carrying, you know, PTSD. And then you've got Dr. Joy DeGroy talking about post-traumatic slave syndrome and a knock-on effect. Like, where and what and how do you think, I know that's, I've said a lot, but where do psychedelics fit into all of that from your perspective?
Oh man, I think you painted the perfect picture, because we look at mighty Mike Tyson, and we say like, nah, he's a teddy bear, but he's back fighting at the same time. Ain't that sweet? So I think that's a perfect example of what these things can do. He decides at 53, like, you know, fuck it, I want to fight again. But
have you been seeing his training videos?
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if anybody wants to see the benefits of these things, we look at Mighty Mike. You know, he's been able to achieve a sense of peace with himself, but now he's able to achieve physical prowess that he didn't think he could achieve, to the point where he's ready to get back in the ring. And I think that goes unsaid too, is how these plants can affect you physically, how they can reverse certain behaviors or change certain bodily functions. And I think that's something that's been understudied. But yeah, I think that's super important, because I think, like we're alluding to all those guys standing on the street, you know, what's ironic about that is every day we'll read about one of our ladies being assaulted, you know, and the reason is because they weren't afraid to walk through those guys. You know what I'm saying? Whereas me and you would be like, shit, you know what I'm saying? And we'd be like, damn, why was she, you know what I'm saying? Because they aren't afraid. You know what I mean? They're not afraid, which could be a blessing and a curse depending on the situation, you know. But yeah, trying to like get away from that fake bravado and then that real bravado. I liken it toward schoolyard fights. Like back in the day when you would get into a scrap, okay, you're around your friends. You go hard, you know, you bang, you do your thing. Now just imagine if you there and your mother said, whoop his ass. You know how much harder you go? You know what I'm saying? If mama say, don't worry about getting in trouble, just go. You know what I'm saying? And so it's that endorsement from mama, man. I don't know if any of us had that situation. I haven't, but I can imagine that, you know, in some of my scraps, if I didn't have to worry about mama's disapproval, right? If she said, go for it, you'll be a ferocious beast, man. You know what I'm saying? So on a societal level, I think that's what men need, in particular our community. You know, when our women finally say, go bro, go, we'll but that's a whole nother conversation on why they won't say go.
We'll leave that to the next episode, man.
Yeah. You know, they're not ready to say go, so we chilling, unfortunately. And these plants, hopefully, if we don't have that call from the majority or the common or mainstream of our ladies, these plants will bring it out of us. They'll bring that humble warrior spirit. Because if you've ever been afraid, there's no kind of, as you know, every now and then it'll test your heart. And once you come out of those experiences, you feel like a man if you never felt like a man before, you know. And so that's the benefit of it too, is, you know, if you really want to go hard, you'll come into an experience that will challenge your bravery more than any other physical experience has. And when you come out of it, you'll be that much more stronger. No.
I feel you on that, man. I made reference to, you know, the current situation that we're in, you know. here with the lockdown, the COVID, and all that type of stuff. And many people, are repeating the phrase like, we don't know what's happening, we don't know what's going to happen, don't know what's going on. You've got all these ideas that are being thrown around, but nobody really knows. And I've felt that there's a lot of people that feel very uncomfortable being in the unknown. And what I've definitely gleaned from my mushroom experiences, every time stepping into or being pushed into the unknown, every time it's moving into those spaces, and how it prepares you, and how that experience has prepared me and others that I'm communicating with, for being in the unknown, but not knowing what's going down, and being comfortable with that, because there's no unknown here that can compete with the unknowns.
Exactly, yeah.
And so
the ultimate.
So I get you, whether it's the physical fight, the spiritual fight, it's like it prepares you, man. And you may not know until you're in the situation how it's prepared you, like Daniel's son, what I'm saying? Just the things that you're facing. And when you're in the situation, you realize, that's come out of experiences that I've had that, didn't make sense, or may not have been clear at the time either, but it fits into place. So definitely I can relate to you on that one, man. Where we going? I want to just delve a little more just into the psychedelics, just as far as anything that you feel is the future of psychedelics, and things we should be considering. I'm gonna open it up simply because there's so much going on in the psychedelic community, as so much information, everything from microdosing, and as I said, all these documentaries out. There's lots of trends for psychedelic tourism going on. And I guess we've all found our niche as individuals and as a group. But it's like, as far as the future, because Kilindi was big, as on this this high. Well, other people refer to it as a high dose thing. It was like, well, this is just what I need to do the work that I need to do, man. You refer to it as a high dose, but this is just the fuel that's required to put in the tank. But it was very clear, and an advocate of not pussyfooting around, basically, man. And the higher doses will get you into these quantum realms and spaces, and this singularity, and experiences and stuff that they're all kind of lining up and bringing us to a certain place, because we're still becoming, we're still on this evolutionary journey, path. So what are your views and feelings? Where do you fit in with the future of psychedelics, and how far we can take this, or where it's going?
I see it as the future. There's this talk about the what they call the technical singularity and the biological singularity, and as we know, this is about driving a biological singularity. And me and you already know several people, but in particular, we know one person already who's went to this realm, brought back some amazing technology all over the world, MIT, talking with all of the great minds of the world. And that's just one example of how I think these things they're going to change the world. I think for us, it would be three applications. One would just be like you say, Dr. DeGrasse, healing post-traumatic slave syndrome. That's going to be major. And then I also think using these high dosages to draw down, just like Silicon Valley and all these other people do, to draw down innovative and creative approaches to our life. And in the larger psychedelic community, we can point toward, many developments that came out of these experiences, whether you talk about Apple Computer or other things. And so I'd like to see that happen more in our community, so that it doesn't, or in general, so it doesn't become just a damn rave drug with that. Yeah, all of a sudden we in a new renaissance, and we have all these they call disruptive technologies. We have super efficient solar cell paint. We have, all these things that can transform life to what it could and should be. So that's where I'm hoping it goes. I hope people, don't just take 2 grams and go to the roller rink or to the dancery, but that they, take high and moderate doses and like bring back inventions or answers to problems or inspirations. Because me and there's the realm of Ta is there, the Akashic records. That's where you tap into it. And so hopefully through our work, we can find better techniques to get there, retrieve things, hold on to them and record them in real time. And we can inspire people to do that. We can build institutes to do that. And we could do it in a way where we're not hounded or concerned about powers that be threatening us or our livelihood. Well, you know, me, I would like for this to be my livelihood, honestly. I'd like for this to be my contribution. So that's what I'm working toward. You know, one day me and you could, you know, have our institutions and, you know what I'm saying, help thousands of people and be able to have a strong, healthy livelihood above ground without having to worry about the forces that be. You know, that's where I'm at.
Cool, bro. I appreciate you sharing that, man.
Me, just real quick, me, you know what? We probably know about 5 or 10 millionaires off this thing, right? Whether we talk about festival organizers, so it's like, but they're often in other communities, and so I like to see that in our community. You know.
Definitely, man. You know, ultimately, man, I know how we like to get down, man, and we like to, you know, have a jiggy, have a dance, you know, and celebrate, whether it's, you know, birthdays, weddings, funerals. You know, I know we're really good. We're the best at it, in fact, when I observe how, you know, how flamboyant and how we do it. So the festival, you know, route is definitely, you know, an option and a viable route. Obviously, there's a lot of attention and, you know, baggage that can come, you know, that can come with that at the same time. But what it makes me think of recently, man, I've been delving into the whole funkadelic sounds. And, you know, George Clinton and Bootsy Collins, Harlem and Funkadelic and the P-Funk All-Stars and, you know, all those sounds there. And it just makes me think, because, you know, you've been to them, you know, the psychedelic festivals and gatherings, and, you know, they're forever playing psychedelic music. And the psychedelic music always seems to be psytrance, you know what I'm saying? Just
side doof, doof, doof. What Kalindi called it, doof, doof music, doof, 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 doof,
yeah, man. And I remember being at festivals, man, and not being able to sleep, you know. And
oh my God, man, talk about it, man.
You know, like realizing what that culture is, why you need to keep going. There is no time to sleep. There is nowhere to sleep. You're not going to get peace and quiet to sleep. You need to keep going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I definitely felt that there was places, you know, where I went to where I had a great time. You know, the festival was a good model for, you know, sharing the information in a relaxed space, and people got to do other things as well. And apart from maybe some, you know, some change in the music, the DJ selection, and you know,
right.
there and there, I really felt that it was a viable route for engaging people, you know, into learning more about psychedelics, simply because the conferences are more academically driven. They're not necessarily appealing, you know, to the younger generation, you know, the urban community and stuff like that. So, you know, for me, the future definitely is moving in that direction. And, you know, I'm currently working with festival organizers. I'm invited to festivals. So I'm doing a lot of observations, surveying, and sooner or later we're going to design and implement and do our own things, you know, starting at a small scale and, you know, just growing organically. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to see, you know, that as part of a way that we engage and, you know, spread the spores, you know.
Yeah, I think that would, and that's more traditional anyway, you know, communal celebrations, man. You know, I think that's the way forward. I'm glad you mentioned that. I forgot. Yeah, that is the way forward. That's the vehicle. You know, we don't want to create another church, nor do we want to create another university setting. You know, but somewhere in between those two.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.